Hello princesses! Today I'm going to be talking about two skincare products from Eyenlip. We have the Intense Rich Active Cream as well as the Intense Rich Active Eye Cream. These are very similar products, which is why they are in the same video. These products were provided for review by BeautyNet Korea, and this is also a sponsored video from BeautyNet Korea as they do own the brand. Even though this is a sponsored video, all of the opinions are my own and I was not asked to say anything in particular, just to provide a general review on the products. So for this review, we're going to be talking about the product description, packaging, application, and then final thoughts. So if you'd like to skip to any of those points, please do so now. So for the cream, the product description says, it is a moisturizing, nutritious cream with fermented soybean ingredient which helps deeply moisturize, provides nutrition to the skin, and makes the skin healthy and firm. For the eye cream, it's pretty similar, a nutritious eye cream with fermented soybean ingredients that fill the skin with deep nutrition and moisture. It contains EGF ingredients to help keep the skin healthy. They also have a few of the extra little bits that you can kind of scroll through the pictures to read about. One of them is about the texture of the product. And it says it has a melting cheese texture. The highly concentrated cream formula stretches like cheese and is lightly absorbed into the skin without being heavy. That one in particular was one that I thought was quite fun because it's a very different texture for a product, so I thought it would be worth mentioning. The packaging of these products is really cute. I actually really like the deep purple color and the gold sticker bar. I think that they look really adorable. I also like that these are kind of products that go together, so they look like they go together as well. They're just like, the eye cream is identical but just tiny. One of the gripes that I did have the packaging though is the cream came with one of those little barriers that sits on the top and stops the cream from getting everywhere, but the eye cream didn't, and so when I actually got it, although is it the barrier stuck on top there? It is, I think. So when I actually unpacked the eye cream, the cream had kind of exploded all through the packaging, which was a bit irritating, so I am missing a bit of the product itself. I'm not sure if, yeah, so that's the lid for the cream, that's the lid for the eye cream. So I think that the barrier that's supposed to stick to this part here is stuck in the cap, and that's why it failed. So it's not that it doesn't have the little cap, it's just that the cap didn't stay where it was supposed to go. Either way, it's not very helpful. The color of both of these creams is a pale beige color, and they both have that melting cheese-like consistency, which is kind of like stringy, so you can put it down and then pick it up and it makes all of these strings. It's really interesting, and I don't think I've actually had any products with that texture before, although I do know that that texture does exist within other products as well, because it's not the first time I've seen it advertised, it's just the first time that I've tried it. Both of the creams spread out really easily, and they're very easy to apply to the skin, and they absorb really quickly. They don't really leave a sticky finish either, which is really interesting. Okay, so my face is freshly cleaned and toned. I've got like a little serum on it. It's not super moisturized at the moment though, so we're going to go in with the active cream first. The texture is really interesting. Like I said, it's like a melting cheese texture, so it's not particularly like fluid, but when you shake it, it jiggles. And it's got like a really long sort of like, it's about to call it a tail, it's not a tail, but like the product itself is very stringy, yeah. Like, I guess like cheese. It's so weird to think that you want that texture though. I don't know. So I'm going to apply it a little bit. You can always go back in with more, but I don't like to apply too much. This one doesn't feel too thick or heavy. It kind of feels like a very thin gel, but it's just not watery. You know when you kind of have like a gel textured cream and you feel like it melts on your hands and it runs away and it turns into water? Not like that. But it's also not thick like a cream. It's like in between, I guess. So with this one, I feel like it does dry down in a way, because once it kind of gets spread around the face and then it has a little while to settle, like we're talking seconds, it almost feels like I wouldn't want to sort of like rub my face too hard because there's no slip left. It dries down to more like a velvety kind of finish. So instead of my fingers sliding up my skin, they're kind of picking it up instead. Like you can see that, right? Which is really interesting to me because it doesn't feel dry. Like my skin feels moisturized to move and everything. And to touch, it feels like velvety and soft, but also dry. It's a very interesting texture. I'm not used to it at all. I'm not certain if it has to do with like the melting cheese texture of the product because I simply don't have enough experience with that texture, but it's very different. It's supposed to be firming. I don't think they're like, you know, how it dries down is particularly firming, but it's still nice. And then the eye cream is basically just a little mini. It has the same cheese texture, except we're just going to take a tiny amount instead. And using ring fingers, I'm just going to apply that underneath the eye and then also on top of the eyelid as well, because my eyelids get super dry. And like this part here, like right into my eyebrows. For some reason, that part of my skin also likes to get super dry, so we apply a good amount there as well. And then just tap it in. Again, I don't really want to drag my fingers like I would with other eye creams because it does dry down really quickly into that same sort of velvety texture. They are very, very, very similar products. And this is how the skin is looking up close. It's definitely not a shiny finish. Like I said, velvety, smooth, still moisturized. I think for me, it's a good moisture level for summer, which it is at the moment in New Zealand, but probably not quite enough for me for winter, I would say. It's hard to know not being in that time frame though, so. But I like it. It's, you know, it looks moisturized, but I don't look like too shiny, like I don't look like a little disco ball, which I love in the winter, but not so much in the summer because I will sweat anyway. Overall, I really enjoyed trying out these products. I am kind of confused about what the difference is, to be honest. I'm looking through the ingredients list and they share a lot of the same ingredients, especially the active ones like niacinamide and adenosine, but then they do have different, that one has caramel in it and that one has beeswax. Yeah, so I'm just going through it. I mean, I would actually have to break down the ingredients list and do a proper analysis because they are in different orders. So they definitely have a different ingredients list and a different like makeup for the products, but they just feel so similar that you almost think that it's, you know, it's not worth having two, that the cream and then the eye cream are the same. Can you get away with just using the cream? Honestly, I would say yes, because I keep forgetting to use the eye cream because I don't really use eye creams. I am in my 30s as well, and that so far has done well for me. Although I do know that, you know, your skin is also largely genetics as well, and I wear sunscreen all the time. So that's not to say that nobody needs to use an eye cream, just that I can get away with not using the eye cream and just using the cream everywhere, including my eyes. I did enjoy using both of these products. They're definitely products that I would use more so in the summertime for myself because they don't leave the skin feeling very moisturized on the outside, which is really interesting. Like I couldn't do a facial massage with these because they dry down to more of a velvety smooth finish. And again, that's not a negative thing, but it does make them definitely more suitable for summer for me personally than it does for any wintertime use, which is really interesting. I definitely prefer my skin to look more moisturized and soft and glowy in the winter. So overall, I think that these are both really interesting products. I really enjoyed trying out the melty cheese texture for the cream itself, and they both worked really well for my skin type. I didn't have any breakouts or anything, even though I have fermented ingredients, which I was like a little bit worried about, but it's not galactomyces, so it's fine. And I think that they're just really good creams. I would probably recommend these to someone who is looking for a cream that is lightly moisturizing, but doesn't have a dewy finish. They feel like a gel and they're lightweight and they feel really nice to apply, but they don't have like that watery consistency and they don't have that really shiny, dewy look at the end. So that's how I recommend these creams too. So thank you so much to Beauty Knit Korea for providing these products for review and sponsoring this video, and thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye!